welcome home.
Thank you very much.
Seems to be the theme this year for Robert Morris. You've been here this whole summer, but I'm coming back. So
we missed you.
Oh, well, thank you. I missed Robert Morris. So what have you been up to this summer?
Oh, it's been a terrific summer, personally and professionally. One of the things when you come to a new organization, you really want to try to get to know it. And what I've been saying in different venues is I want to get my PhD in RMU. You might have heard me say that. And one of the things I was able to do this summer is with the board. We had a board retreat. We brought in a woman named Kathy Trower, who was an expert on nonprofit boards. And we had, not according to me, all right, but according to people on the board, one of the best high-quality conversations the board's had in quite some time. So that's great to help me understand how they think, what they want to do, what their vision is for the institution. And then we had a leadership council event with probably 19 of the top leaders, vice presidents, et cetera, on campus, including the deans, including two of our student leaders, Avinash and Anna, who represent student organizations here. And we spent about 2 days discussing what RMU values, how we're going to lead and manage, and how we're going to build our strategy. And I brought in a gentleman from the Aspen Institute to moderate a conversation about our values. Then I brought in, and this is scary, 2 of my former professors from Harvard Business School to moderate conversations, and it was really, really special. I was nervous as can be because I felt like I was going to get graded again because they're my former professors, which is kind of cool. But it went really well, and I got a real sense of what we kind of want to do next. We don't have it all worked out, but we're thinking about it the right way. So, and in addition, my 2 sons came and visited. They had a great time. My oldest son worked at the Steelers camp in Latrobe. I'm saying it right, hopefully. Latrobe. I can say Carnegie, but I can't say Latrobe.
You're getting the feel of it.
I'm getting the feel for it. And but he worked as an intern in the scouting program for Kevin Colbert, who's the general manager of the Steelers, who's also a Robert Morris graduate. And that was really terrific. And my youngest son, Joshua, was in town. He still is in town. He might be in bed now as well. He's going back to Middlebury College in a few weeks, and he's having a great time in Pittsburgh. Bucks games, Steelers season games, you know. It's been great.
You're hitting everything.
I'm trying.
So everyone saw your tweet.
And the Drake concert.
That's what I was just about to
you're going to say, yeah.
We saw your awesome tweet. How was it?
That was awesome. I mean, Drake is a talented hip-hop artist, and I'm not kidding. To see a guy hold the stage like that, you know, I'm from a generation where people had instruments, and there'd be a big band back there, or even a turntable, because I'm kind of at the beginning of hip-hop. But to see him hold the stage like that for 30,000 people in the palm of his hand with his music and his, you know, and he was smart. He came out in a Pens jersey. He took it off and had a Bucks jersey on underneath that. So he knew what he was doing. But it was a great show. A lot of Robert Morris people out there. A lot of fun. And it's fun to be on social media, to be social. Hey, Robert Morris means business. It's a serious place. We help people get these great degrees to get them right into great lives and professions. But we have fun. And it was so fun to have the Robert Morris community tweet at me and talk at me. And I'm using words that weren't even around 20 years ago to do all these things that kind of have a lot of fun as a community. You know, we play together here, you know.
It seems like you had a very fun-packed summer.
It was very fun-packed. But hey, the funnest part is going to be coming up when the students come back.
Oh yeah, hey, we're days away. Freshman orientation starts this Thursday, so it seems like we're about less than 48 hours away from it.
Is it really this Thursday?
It's Thursday.
Oh my goodness,
yeah.
No, I'm excited about
Crazy.
it. Yeah, it does sneak up on you. The summer is so placid and laid back. And Craig Coleman, the director of athletics, was in a meeting recently. He talked about the football players coming back and women's volleyball. I spoke to the women's soccer team, the men's soccer team, and then of course the lead program and ESP and the RAs, CAs, etc. He's like, summer's over. It's great though. We're excited. It's a great campus, but what makes it great is the students.
That's awesome. So we got a teaser of your presidency last semester. You started in February. We're coming up on your first full year, 2016, 2017. Do you have kind of a battle plan, what you plan to bring to the table for Robert Morris?
Yes, I would say this, you know, no one does it by themselves, and I've been very, very big on sharing the basketball. We're going to do this together. We're going to discern what this is together, and people, yourself included, students, faculty, staff, alumni, members of our community will have a say. But as a president, you're kind of, like they say about the British Prime Minister, the first amongst equals. So I've got some ideas and I've got some ideals that I'm thinking about as well. What we kind of discern out of that leadership council process and the board retreat that's different than what we've been doing. We're really into it. If you read our mission, right, our strategic plan, engage learning and transformation and building great careers for our students and putting them on the path, that's not going to go anywhere. That's foundational. I'm really excited about this idea of a preferred partner. Robert Morris is the preferred partner for corporations, organizations, and professionals in the region. There's something about what we do in terms of how we interact with companies and nonprofits and the accountancy professionals, actuarialists, teachers, psychologists, etc. We're kind of in a neat place, an interesting niche, as it were. So something about us being the preferred partner for corporations, organizations, and professionals in the Pittsburgh region and beyond, especially as we go into our 100-year anniversary, which will be 2021. I know I don't look a day over 25, but we're going to be 100 pretty soon. And so that's kind of what we're kind of chewing on. What would it mean to be the preferred partner? What would it mean for your opportunities as students, seeing the value proposition, what we can do with the physical plant, growing our endowment, et cetera. So that's kind of at the tip of my tongue. There's some other ideas that I'm really concerned about as well. They'll come out in my inauguration. It's around how we can continue to support veterans, how we can continue to support women, how we can make sure that people from the community and around the country know that Robert Morris is a place for underrepresented minorities as well. We do a lot of things well, but we don't have a significant footprint in terms of diversity. Pittsburgh has challenges around that as well, and I've got some ideas around that as well, and I'm getting a lot of love and support from board members, members of the community, faculty and staff, and so, to be determined, but we're funneling toward those sort of end games, as it were.
So you mentioned the inauguration, October 7th, if I'm correct. Yeah. So we talked about that a little bit in our last interview. Are you looking forward to that? I know you have a lot of interesting speakers to come. Someone from your former Air Force, if I'm correct.
Sure.
So what can we look forward to that?
Yeah, it's going to be a terrific day. First off, in the morning, we're going to celebrate. Well, it's all about Robert Morris. There might be a mu in RMU, but there's no me in RMU. There's a mu though, so it's not about me. It's about RMU. That's the first thing I want to kind of point out, Delaney. In the beginning of the day, though, we're going to have the schools highlight their story. So one of the mega themes of what we're trying to do is that Robert Morris University, an American story for our time or our world, right? Robert Morris University is a story for our time and our world. So we're going to let the different schools tell their narrative in like little displays. So you can walk around Sewell and you can be able to see what's happening in nursing with Dean Howard, and see what's happening with Dean Kelevich over in engineering, math, and sciences, et cetera. What's going to be interesting for alum coming back, some of whom don't know we have these other schools. They just think we're all business, So it's going to be neat to have them showcase and highlight what they're doing and how that feeds into the narrative of the university. And then for the inauguration, as you implied, we're going to have a great speaker. She's like a big sister to me, General Michelle Johnson, the first woman to be the wing commander for the United States Air Force Academy back in 1981. And now she's a 3-star general, a lieutenant general, and she's the first woman to run the United States Air Force Academy. And that goes along with a kind of a second theme, which is Robert Morris University, empowering women to lead the 21st century. Committed to providing opportunities for women to be successful. I want us to be the springboard, and General Johnson has gone through a lot and experienced a lot. She's a world-class leader, and she'll bring insight. And that night we'll have a panel, and we'll have General Johnson on it. It'll be about empowering women. I'm going to moderate it. Peggy Uten from the Bear Nonprofit Center has helped me pull together the questions. So if they're not any good, blame Peggy. No, she's doing a great job, as is the inauguration committee led by Yasmin Purahit and Larry Tomei. But we'll have Suzanne Nora Johnson, who is the former vice chairman of Goldman Sachs on the board of USC, and a very successful top 50 most important woman on Wall Street, and Donna Agist, who's a CMU-trained, educated engineer who has like 9 patents, was an engineer at Apple, and sold her software company for lots of money years ago, and is a philanthropist. I say she missed RMU by 1 letter. She went to CMU rather than RMU, but we're going to get it right. And we'll be on the panel together and talk about empowering women. And then at night, there's a homecoming party, and yours truly will be there partying, having a good time and shaking it, and it'll be a lot of fun. My family will be in town. The next day, we'll be shaking hands with the alumni. Homecoming is, I meet people from all over. I was in D.C., they're like, oh, I'm coming for homecoming, Dr. Howard. I'm all over at a Bucks game. They're like, I'm coming for homecoming. So that'll be a lot of fun in its own right, and then we're going to whoop St. Francis. Sorry, Father Malachi. He's the head of St. Francis. Nice guy, but we're going to win that game. So, yeah, that's the weekend in a nutshell.
Oh, awesome.
Should be
hey,
good.
We won last year. I think we can do it again.
Heck yeah.
So all this talk about empowering women and all that, I do have to mention with Dr. Michelle Patrick just being named to the business school as the new dean, we now have all women deans of our business, or all all of our schools.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to add about that?
I would just say we have extraordinarily competent and capable people who lead those schools and do a fine job, and they happen to be women. And it was not a deliberate thing. I praise President Delamo and the choices he made, and Provost Jamison in choosing those individuals. I also say with the acting Dean Lois Bryant, who did a great job in the breach there before we brought Michelle on, Dean Patrick on, and she is going to make, as I said, I think in a press release, she's going to make a significant and immediate impact. She knocked my socks off, and everybody else she came in contact with. But at the end of the day, we have to be an institution where people of color, women know that they can be successful, whether it be students or faculty or staff. And I think having 5 deans that happen to be women that's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's great.
This is pretty cool.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So we've kind of been hearing a lot about this new event center,
Yes.
and there's been a lot of talk about it. Can you give us kind of the lowdown of what's going on
Sure,
with that?
I'm happy to do it. This is something that predates my time here, but I think it's a great idea. It's dubbed I'm an old intelligence officer in the Air Force, so we have these secret codes and secret words for everything. This is the game changer, code word game changer. And it is going to be a game changer because it's going to take a top tier Division I basketball program, which is the envy of the country, as a kind of top tier mid-major. In fact, I bumped into Coach Rick Pitino in Florida. I had a speaking engagement, and Pitino, who coached Kentucky, the Boston Celtics, and now Louisville. And I said, "Hey, Coach," he was down there for his daughter's wedding. I said, "Coach, you need to come up and play in our new event center when we get it built. Bring Louisville and play a basketball game." He goes, "No." That didn't work out too well for my friend John Calipari at Kentucky, so I don't know if I want to bring Louisville up here. So that says a lot about a program where the head coach of Louisville says, I know that Robert Morris program. So this will be wonderful to put Coach Toole's program on the appropriate stage, as well as the women's basketball team, with Charlie, our new coach there, and the women's volleyball team. In addition, it's going to be great for faculty, staff, and students or our whole community because even though Sewell is a nice enough facility, this is going to be cutting edge, state of the art, and we're going to have the plan is to have a conference center in there, which will also serve the community. We'll be able to do more things around concerts, and as Pittsburgh kind of grows west, and as the airport kind of picks up steam, we'll be a logical place for people to do things here on campus in a facility that's commensurate with the level of national university that we are. So to maybe anticipate your next question, timing, this is a multi-million-dollar fundraising endeavor. Vice President Carson from Student Life, Senior Vice President, not Student Life, but for Institutional Advancement, has done a great job. And we're a good chunk into it. I don't want to disclose the numbers per se. There have been some very generous corporate donors that have been involved, names that you'd recognize, and I'll just hold off on those until we make the announcement. But we're hoping in the very near future to announce this. It's never done till the ink's dry, but I think that it'll serve this place in a really, really neat way at this time. So going back to the question about my vision is to get that doggone thing done so we can celebrate in it and about it.
Very exciting. A lot of people have been wondering when we're going to see it. Sewell's definitely a great building, but a lot of people have been very excited about this new event center. Another new thing that's coming to campus, I actually just was in an interview with John Locke yesterday. Mm-hmm. Everyone loves John Locke. So the program OrgSync that Robert Morris is branding as Revolution. Mm-hmm. He said that you would know a little bit about that. Is there anything that you want to talk about with that?
Well, I tell you, Robert Morris has done a lot of things well, and we punch above our weight when it comes to retention and graduation, but we need to punch a little higher. We want to be at a number, I've got in my mind, maybe over 70% graduation and retention rate, which is no small feat for any university or college. If you're going to have people retain and graduate at a level that I just described, they need to feel connected and engaged. If they want to feel connected and engaged, you need some infrastructure, some technology, and some smart people like the John Locks and John Michaelenkos and the folks over there in Student Life running it. And so we use OrgSync in my previous institution. I'm a believer in it. It's got to get into the culture. It's got to be something that people see as a tool, not a chore. But the reviews of it are very, very positive. Like I said, I've seen it before. And I think in the end game is people to feel engaged, empowered, enjoy themselves so that they stay. and we can track that. We can see what the numbers look like. So this is not just us putting something out there because it looks interesting or cool. Although revolution is a very cool way to brand something, but it's really going to help us on the bottom line as well and help us serve our students.
He was explaining it to me, and he even got the chance to show me how it looks and see the swipe thing. It looks amazing, and just how we can keep track of everything, and you can just stay connected. And I think that is absolutely spectacular, and how it really is going to just weave well with everybody and keep everybody connected. And I think it's going to be a very interesting.
Could be revolutionary.
Amen.
Yeah.
I think it could be.
So I was going to say one other thing about the ability for people to swipe, and it's kind of like I was working out at Jefferson, and one of the things the swiper wasn't working, but we got it working, it was fine. I said it's important, I was telling Robbie behind the counter that it's important that we count so we know who's using this. So when we're trying to get resources to make it better, we know who's using it. We spend a lot of time in higher education as leaders trying to program and provide a lot of program that makes the most sense for students. But sometimes we don't know who's there. And so just the revolutionary idea of being very accurate, not in any big brotherish, creepy way, but just to know who's going to what and try to say, okay, if you're going to this event and you're in certain clubs or certain sports or fraternities or sororities, we can kind of sync that up and deliver more effective programming. That's what we want to do. We want to do things that are not chores, but they're actually exciting and fun, and we'll just know better. And that's what I'm glad you mentioned the swipe part of it, because students can do their part by trying to make sure they find a little swipe. It's like it's a way to basically vote on something and let people know that you like it by swiping and what have you. So I'm glad you brought that point up.
Oh, I thought that was one of the most interesting aspects. You can keep track, and it goes on your set credit, and that set transcript is something that is just absolutely spectacular. It's one thing that drew me to Robert Morris. And just keeping track of all that instead of writing your name down and hoping that nothing is lost or anything like that. You swipe and it's already on there, and that's just spectacular.
I think you're absolutely right.
So my one final question is, as orientation starts and classes are just about to begin, Bobby Mania is starting. It's your first Bobby Mania. Are you very excited?
I'm super excited. Like I said, Pittsburgh is a fun place. I like to say it's big enough to matter and small enough to care, and Robert Morris is big enough to matter and small enough to care. And we're going to get together, and to use a phrase from the late Prince, we're going to party like it's 1999, have a good time, and and get ready for a great school year. So I'm excited. Thank you for asking. See you out there.
We'll see you there.
Cheers.